you think you've made progress, and then someone, and I mean, I felt like, what do I gotta do? Like breastfeed this child for you to think that this child is mine? So that was pretty hurtful. And then, the job that my husband does in the military, not a lot of black people. Like, I would, get asked, like, who am I here to see? And I would say my husband. And as soon as I said his last name, they would look at me like, what?
That body language just says it all every time.
That body language would shift. I would get treated totally separate. I'd be getting the side eye as soon as I walked in them hangar doors. But as soon as they found out who my husband was, I was all of a sudden, I was a good person. So, they can kick rocks with open-toed shoes when it comes to that. I was like, what? So, I mean, it even happens now with him where he's not actually in a position, and I am in a position with the family readiness group, and he's not necessarily around. And so when they find out, if I call someone saying that I need something, they're like, who are you? And as soon as I say I'm, such and such's wife, they're like, oh, we'll get it right away. Well, wait a minute. Why couldn't you get it when I asked you for it? I'm not just some random person that's going to call you and say I need XYZ. So, I've had to get his boss involved in the situation when, it didn't need to be. And, everybody went, oh, well, why do you got to bring race in it? Well, because that's the way it is. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent, babe.
No. Speak your mind.
I spark in my mind. But then there, the other things like the weird looks we get.
Yeah.
It's 2018.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, like for me, like I said, when I grew up, I grew up on both sides of the tracks. And at a young age, my father, he put me in sports. And really, that was my interaction. When I interacted, and those of y'all who play sports, you know the deal. That's your brother, that's your sister, you build that bond with your teammates and everything, and all the things that you're told growing up, you call BS on that because that, no, they're not like that. And that's crazy to even think that. Why would you think that? And I think sometimes it's just the fear of the unknown and not being able to relate or educate yourself. It can be challenging for people, but at the same time, you can't, be rigid and believe in things are a certain way when in fact they're not. So, growing up playing sports, just my interactions. I mean, case in point, the last white teenager, white lady that I dated was when I was 16 years old. Now, why is that?
You ain't never go back.
Well, the saying, you bring up another good point. When I hear once you go black, you can't go back, it's not it's actuality, it's once you go black, you can't go back.
Why can't you go back?
Because,
other than I am the best wife ever.
Well, we're rewinding here, at high school times. So, of course, in my high school in the western part of North Carolina, deal is, and any kind of interracial relationships that happen in high school, well, guess what? Me as a white man, if I'm talking to a black woman, then guess what? The white girls don't want nothing to do with me. And this is my own experience. But why is that?
What would they call you?
Oh, wigger, N-word lover, typical things that you hear that are hateful, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just ignorance, the lack of knowledge, the not wanting to understand that, like I said before, the heart wants what the heart wants. And, if you just look at it, like I said, one dimensional, you're going to have a hard time through life. You really are. So, those were my experiences. We even had race riots in my school. And the thing was, most of my friends were black. And then when I found out the guy who's committing initiated the race riots, I hate to say it, I was kind of pretty thuggish back in the day. And I went to
knuckle up, didn't you?
Yeah, because, here I am, actually I'm setting an example, even though that's not what my intention was. most of my friends in high school were black. But I was cool with everybody. But you always had that group of, ignorant asses that basically want to get stupid. So I'd always take it to them. And, I hated it was that way. Of course, like I said, I was young and dumb. But, it's just unfortunate that, sometimes you have to get physical with people. Even though a good old woodshed whooping doesn't hurt every now and then to set somebody straight. And
never hurt nobody.
That's just how it was though. And then, I met my wife, and like she said, 25 years later, through thick and thin, we've managed to make it, right, babe?
Absolutely. I would not. Well, there are some things I would change, but as far as like us not.
So what would you change?
I would change some of the things that happened. I would change the baggage that I brought into the relationship. Because you have to admit, I tested you a couple times. Shut up. Don't even try. I tested you a couple times. I'm sure there's a couple times where you were like, this ain't even worth it. Right?
Yeah, but again, if you're talking about in the beginning years, our younger years, we were young. We're in our early 20s, mid-20s.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of young couples, they go through a lot during that age.
But we didn't know what marriage looked like.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. I mean, you can be taught, everything, textbook version of this is how you're married and everything, but at the end of the day, it's how bad do you want it? How bad do you want the relationship?
Right.
How bad do you want to be with that person? Through all the tomfoolery and stuff that goes on in the world,
He said tomfoolery, y'all. I put him through tomfoolery. Okay. I own that. But we knew and know that divorce is not an option.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like most people, that's why it's at 60% now, the divorce rate?
I still hear 1 out of 2 marriages end in divorce.
Yeah, because, well, if this doesn't work out, like you could, listen, babe, I'm going to tell you what I tell my friends. I said, if it ever got to that point, I'm going to need for you to move upstairs. I'm going to go ahead and stay downstairs. We're going to meet. We're going to smash every once in a while. There's no divorce up in this piece.
As long as it's not the War of the Roses, right?
No, it's not going down like that. There is no divorce going on. You just sleep up here. We'll figure it out. Then or I sleep up here, and then when we get over it, we move on back downstairs and we smash downstairs. I'm serious. You couldn't pay me to date. Like I love my reality shows, y'all, but No, there's too much. No, you're not going to catfish me. You're not going to, have me trying to send you some money because you got stuck in Guatemala. None of that craziness. Nope, not happening. Never. So I was thinking about some questions that we could ask.
Hence why you have me here today, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm under the spotlight, y'all, so this should be interesting.
Hot seat, y'all. So I was thinking about some questions, and I'll answer them too, because that's how we get down. We are one. I am you. You are me. We are as one. All that good stuff. So, and I think a couple of them we've already discussed. So my first question to you is, do you think male and females can be friends?
That's hard. I know I've heard your version of it, and I appreciate it because you've made the line clear. If you're saying, could I have female friends? Mm-hmm. I don't know, because as of right now, I'm like you. It's like they're associates or people I know, or people, if they called me and said, I got this going on or whatever. It would just depend on the situation, and so that I don't put myself in some type of compromising position, I very well could say, hey, honey, you want to ride with me to go take care of this, But I know that you trust me, and I appreciate that and everything. Yeah. But, I can tell you when
I trust him in the way an Afro-Latina trusts her husband.
But I'll give you an example. Just a couple of months ago, I lost one of my best friends from back home, and of course I went back, and I was by myself. I went back for a couple of days to spend time with some old friends and everything, and they were all male, but we were hanging out at a sports bar and everything, and of course I'm wearing my ring and everything, but nowadays, you know how it is. That don't mean nothing to anybody because they look at it as a challenge, really.
Yes.
And call it what you want to. And I'm sitting there enjoying myself, and I'm getting these innuendos, and I'm just looking at this individual, and I just want to tell her, like, did you really just try to make a pass at me? And you see, I'm already kind of on an emotional roller coaster because I just watched one of my best friends get buried, right? And then I got this lady, clearly,
AKA ho,
clearly trying to make a pass at me. And the thing is I got it. With somebody along the line, they always make passes. Men have made passes at you, women made passes at me. Yes. But it's just how do you deal with it? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So
yes.
But yeah, needless to say, it was just, I hated that. And, one of my friends, I'm not going to say any names, he's away from his wife, but he seems to not have a problem doing dirt or whatever. So I said, look, you're my friend and everything, but dude, I got to go. I said, I'm not going to put myself in this position here. So, of course I got in my truck and I drove back home. I was actually going to stay one more night, and I was like, no, it was a 2.5 hour drive. So I said, let's roll out. And, looking back on it, I probably should have got some rest, but I think I just had so much going on at the time, that I couldn't even sleep anyway. So, I made the trip back, and I told my wife about what happened, and I was like, all right. It was almost kind of matter of fact, and we both looked at it like, all right, yep, whatever. I'm just glad you're back. So,
okay. So my next question for you is, do you get offended when I say we are raising black men? Do you feel, I guess it's a two-part question. Does it hurt your feelings when we say, or when I say we're raising black men? And do you feel like I am negating their biracialness?
No, because I know what the answer is, but I want you to tell the people why you say, in particular, why you say black men. Because
you're wanting me to say why I feel that way? That we're raising black men?
Yes.
Because that's not something that was put on, that's not something that black people came up with. Like, it was the white man, the slave owner, that came up with that one drop of black blood makes you a black person. So, and that's just the way it's been through the course of history. And so until that changes, until, certain demographics, aka white people, aka white cops, aka whoever, KKK, until they don't feel threatened by the color of my child's skin, I'm going to continue to raise them as black men, and you will act as black men.
Okay. So, to answer you, no, I don't get offended, and this is why. Folks, you got to understand that perceptions are going to be your reality. And I'll give you a prime example. At a younger age, hanging out with my friends, I kid you not, one night, because I kept my hair short, I had on a hat, but one night, I'm with my friends, and there's a girl that came up to my car, and the first thing out of her mouth is like, "Are you black?" And I looked at her like it just threw me off, right? And I'm like, "No," I said, "I'm white." And she goes, "You don't look white." But if you see a picture of me, I mean, yeah, I look straight up white.
No.
So, but hear me out.
You went to the tanning bed. You kept it nice and clean. You kept it all shaped up.
But let me finish though. Let me finish.
You was what we called a gray dude.
Well, gray dude, gray girls, whatever. That's just slang, right?
Right.
But I don't want to get off topic here.
Okay.
So basically, the point I'm getting at is
trying to rein me tan. In, y'all.
Is you just said it yourself, tan. The fact that different skin tones actually affects people's thought process.
Yeah.
Okay.